All right, today's an exciting day. We have the Razer Nommo Chroma 2.0 gaming speakers. You know, Razer is always pretty solid with their packaging. Has nice peel-off tape. Didn't peel off so great. So my son has a almost entirely Razer setup. Previously had the Razer Core X Chroma eGPU. I've given him my Dell XPS 8950. So he's no longer running off a laptop. He's had some Logitech speakers, but we're gonna upgrade him to these bad boys. This is some high quality packaging. These are an odd shaped device but Razer is known for quality stuff essentially. Razer's good at packaging, let me say that. Let's check out the main event. Now those are just cool looking. Over here we have a bass knob. They're a little detents. And then on the volume side also has detents, so you can feel it moving incrementally. All right, and then of course, coming out one side, there's an R, so this is the right side. And this guy has an L, which is your left side. I'm not gonna show it, but this side has your serial number, so if you want to register it with your Razer products, it's nice. And then this one has two cords coming out, one cord being the connector for the other speaker. It only goes in one way, so it doesn't swivel. That's kind of annoying, so you're gonna have to cable manage that kind of neatly. Here, classic Razer USB with the green inside, and these Razer covers, which are kind of useless, but kind of nice. And I don't know what's in here. Oh, obviously a Razer book, and of course, where would you be without Razer stickers? A multi-purpose plug-in. That's probably better for the environment in some capacity. Razer's pretty good about environmental stuff. Probably so they can make the same one for different countries of origin and just put the United States version here. And then of course this plugs into the back here. There's also a cord for an aux in or headphones. So this will be going to a desktop PC, so we'll probably just use USB, of course, but you can plug your headphones in there if you want to. It'd be nicer if the headphones were over here. I thought there was a USB port, but there is not any extra USB ports, so that's one problem with having all the Razer stuff is that there's a lot of USB ports you got to use. Essentially go like this. Now it does come with this long extension cable here, so in theory, I guess you could plug your headphones in here, then run this underneath your desk or whatever, and then listen to your headphones that way. You get a male to female cable. Just for reference, they're gonna take up more space on your desk than this is a Logitech Z207. So they will take up more space. They're no taller, really. They're technically shorter. You know, base plate, it's only a little bit bigger. So it's more perception than my buddy Tony. Oh, no. He bought these and returned them. He said they were too big, but he has really small hands.
You take my little hand. No, get it away from me.
So sometimes it's hard for him to handle things, but I'm kind of digging these. I think they look cool. Plus I'll be chroming down the bottom. And we'll get this all set up with all the other Razer gear and we'll take a look. Yeah, so they're not on. You gotta press the power button. It pushes down, it depresses for the volume. And now we should see it pop up in Synapse. So once you plug in these devices into Synapse, generally Synapse will have to have an update. Once the update is installed, then you should be able to relaunch Synapse and have your devices showing up. But you can see there is the green light underneath the speakers. There's a bass knob and a volume knob. Now this is another area where Razer gets wonky with their naming conventions. They have a couple different versions. They have ones with the subwoofer. These do not have the subwoofer. And now they just have an updated version now that has lights in the back instead. Like this one has lights in the rings. The other one has lights on the back. And they also have a different version that has like a little tweeter on top here as well. So they're very different in the naming convention. So just be aware of what you're looking for. In this video, we're gonna talk about this specific model, Razer Nommo Chroma. And inside the settings here, you can control the volume. You can have an equalizer to do default game, music, or movie. And then it tells you the bass boost and volume. You can link you to Windows to change the sound profile. This is a nice feature that sometimes I forget to talk about. Razer has an option to turn the lighting off when the display is turned off. So basically turn off your monitor, it turns off all your lights. I know previously when I had all Alienware products, it wouldn't do that and the lights would just be going like crazy unless I completely shut everything down. All right, so let's take a look at the various lighting options. Not a lot built in. Audio meter, of course, is to play along with the music. We'll do that when I do the music test shortly. Let's go to breathing. So breathing is just green, just gonna be the circles. So you can see they're lighting up. Of course, you can change it to 2 colors if you want. So we can do green and then breathe in the red, or you can even add a random color in there. And then you can do spectrum cycling, of course, everyone loves that. Just a little circle action. And then we have static, of course, which is just a solid color. You can change it to whatever you want, obviously. And then wave. So not as many options built in here by default. Now, of course, if you take it to Chroma Studio, you can build out just about any color you want or any kind of the built-in features. Like other Razer devices have a lot more effects built into them, and then you can get that same effect here with these devices. All right, so now let's play some music. So you can adjust the volume here. You can see on the computer, it turns the volume up. And then of course, you can't see me, but I'm using the keyboard. If I press the volume on the keyboard here, it goes up as well. And if I hit mute, it will mute them as well. So I don't know how much this is gonna come across on video. Let's do audio meter. I don't know what color boost means, but let's turn it up to, seems like 4 is as most you can go. Now, as far as audio, it's gonna be very subjective, obviously, right? I do notice a difference when I turn the bass up. If I turn it all the way down, you notice a difference too. I don't know how much that's gonna come through on these microphones, but you can notice it. It looks like this little blue gives you an indicator. See that? If I turn the bass down, it goes down. If I turn the bass up, the blue light gets bigger. So that is a nice feature. And then if you turn the volume up, same thing. It's green for volume. So again, I think they have a substantial amount of bass. Really, it sounds pretty good to me. Again, I'm not an audiophile. You can find everyone on YouTube complaining about any kind of audio speaker ever, especially Razer speaker people complain about. Yeah, so, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Again, it's gonna be subjective. I like it. You may not like it, my dogs. If you press the button, it turns it off. Okay, and so now it's going through my computer. If you turn it back on, there's not a mute button, I guess. That's weird. If you have your Razer keyboard, it should work. Like I said, it's gonna be subjective, what you like and don't like about audio. I do think they're very good. They're much better than these little Logitech speakers I had before. Of course, they're a lot more expensive. They are physically large, as I showed in the pictures. They are very cool as well. I mean, I think it's cool looking. Certainly when you have a full Razer setup, the circles are pretty cool looking, and they just kind of blend in with the Razer aesthetic, of course. Let's build up our full Razer setup, and you'll get an idea of how fresh it looks when it's all together. All right, so here we are with the full setup. Now, in case you think this sounds familiar, I'm using this portion of the video on multiple different Razer product clips. I might tweak it from here to there on each one. But it's also a good idea to subscribe if you're watching this file. You know why? Because all these products I've had for a very long time. A lot of these things I've made videos. That HyperX, so on the far right corner there's a HyperX. I made a video on that very long time ago. Of course, in this video series, we have the Razer Raptor monitor, the Nommo Chroma speakers, the Basilisk Ultimate mouse, and the wireless charging dock for the mouse, the Firefly V2 mouse pad, and the Huntsman Elite controller. Over here, that doesn't play nice with the colors, is the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma, and Pokémon Special Edition OLED switch dock. And of course, our little bobblehead Snicky Snack. And down below, the desk itself is a Husky desk, which I made a video on a very long time ago. Well, here is the UPS that I made a video on. Here, I don't know if it's gonna show on camera, but this is all being powered off of my Dell XPS A950 that I made videos on previously. So the point of that is, I'm not one of these YouTube guys that just buys products to make videos on and gets rid of them. These are things I actually use and I've had for a very long time. A lot of this stuff is 2 years old or approaching the 2-year mark. So we're talking about in-depth use cases. You know, I'm not one of these guys that has a brand new laptop every week.
Hi, this is David at Mash IT.
So here you can see all the products together. This is what I was mentioning before. It's very nice to see them all together and it looks pretty cool. Like I said, the mouse dock doesn't play nice color-wise, and neither does the controller, but everything else is doing the wave, which is pretty cool. Let me show you that you can do a little bit of everything. So let's go lighting, and then we'll choose breathing. We'll do our colors again. Blue and red, and apply it to everything. Now everything should be blue and red, including the dock over there is breathing, right? So some of them, all of them can do, and some of them, all of them can't. And then fire, this is what the boy usually uses for his setup. Razer has that button, which a lot of people don't have. See, here's where it gets a little bit wonky, where some things don't have fire. Only the keyboard and the monitor are doing fire right now. Spectrum cycling, everyone should have that, so they should all link up nice and easy here. And then Starlight, I think they all have that as well, maybe? Or no, not all of them. For static, everyone should have static. I should be able to go all green for everyone, no problem. And then the wave, of course, we were already doing, but you can see here. So what I'm gonna do now is turn the lights off so you get a better idea and show you some cool features, and hopefully no one gets scared. All right, so there you can see how cool everything looks. So let's go to Razer Studio, and here's where I said you can make an edit. So you click on everything. Now you can change this to fire. Now everything is fire. If I hit save, everything should be fire. See, now previously all of them didn't have fire, but now they're all doing fire, which is pretty cool.
I like that.
If I hit here and check everything, and I change this to breathing, and then again, I change the color, I'll do red, and we'll change the second color to green. I'll save it. Now everything will be red, green. So you can see how cool this looks. Even the dock, like I said, the dock was limited on its features, but it works. Same thing here, right? Make sure every time you hit everything, and then we change this to reactive, and then we save it. So now it's reactive. So the reactive's not very cool for everything. So don't use reactive for everything unless you want really basic stuff. Ripple's what I was thinking of. Yeah, ripple is gonna be cool. That single light there on the keyboard currently is the numbers lock. So there you go. So now that is cool, right? So it goes through everything. It's not quite lined up because we haven't organized everything. But if you notice on here, you can move these things around. If you rearrange everything in Synapse, you can make it pretty cool. You see how it's going through on Synapse there. All right, and that's the ripple effect. And then of course we go spectral cycling. So you can do that without the studio version, but it is nice to have everything lined up correctly, including the mouse. Starlight, I think is really cool. So that's showing a bunch of different colors. You can edit that, of course, like I showed you previously, to change the different color variants, but this predefined one is very cool. I like it. It's a nice, relaxing way to have your system set up. Like if you're not really too involved, you can have this just playing in the background. It's nice in a dark room. It's kind of cool looking. Static is nothing, you know, obviously we know how everything can do static. You can change the color, but again, static is pretty boring. Wave. So this is another one where if you rearrange these things on the desk, like for example, here's the monitor. There you go. I can move monitor here, move the keyboard here, speaker here, speaker here, mouse here. Now the wave is a little more aligned. I don't know if you can tell that, but it is nice how that works. And then let's do the wheel effect. Wheel, and save that. So you can sort of tell, but the wheel's not as impactful. I prefer wave over wheel. But here's where I think ripple is gonna be cool. And if I hit this button, that's pretty good, right? Yes, I like that. Like I said, the board uses fire the most. And of course, like I said, if you use the music, you can get the audio responses, but I don't want to set it up right now. It's nighttime, people sleeping. So yeah, Fire is pretty cool with all these setup as well. Let's get the lights back on. All right, so there it is, the setup for all these devices together. We do like each of these individual devices, but with Razer, it's pretty nice when you can get everything all together on one system.